Hello, my name is Miguel Moreira. I'm one of the founders of the SPA, and currently I'm a vice president of the association. We're going to talk in the next 20 minutes about the project that we are doing. We call it Data Science Playbook, and we would like to share with you the project that we launched about 5 months ago. And for us, for the association, this is a very important project because it links very well with one of the main purposes and values of our association. We want to promote the use of data science to as many professionals and companies that can use it and can take advantage of it. Data science, it's obviously one of the themes of the moment. There is a societal acceptance about that the potential of data science is huge, but the professional is typically seen as something very technical and complex, which sometimes make it a little bit unreachable for the most of the people. And some companies, especially small companies, get a bit scared with what do I have to do? How much do I have to invest? What sort of people do I have to hire to actually practice and use data science? So we basically don't agree with this glorified view of the profession. And although it's very interesting from a marketing and differentiation perspective to sell it a little bit as something very, very complex, we believe that the way to attract more people to the professional, more companies to adopt the use of data science, we need to make it easier. So we basically believe there are several flavors within the data science profession, and a little bit the guide to those professions, those flavors are one of the main purposes of this project. Usually people look at data science as something that is performed by a person that is a little bit like a scientist that we see on the comic books with a white robe, and maybe he has a IQ very high and very deep studies on computer and mathematics. And that's actually the case for some fields of the profession, but not for all. We believe there are entry points and flavors, paths to use the profession and the techniques of the profession that don't require such sophisticated skills. And this is an inclusive view of the profession that we would like to define and roll out to the community. Especially when we look at adoption by small and medium enterprises, which basically is the structure of the economy of most of the European countries, especially a country like Portugal. And data science seems just too complex to companies like that. So what we are trying to do is to get some answers to three main questions regarding data science. What exactly is the profession of data science? What are the variants, what I call the flavors of the profession? And what are the skills that you need to learn in order to be a data science professional? And these three main questions drove the SPA to basically launch this project. We call it the Data Science Playbook. We call it Playbook a little bit like a manual for the profession. And we would like this to be a big lever, a big tool to actually accelerate transition towards digital that obviously most economies and Portuguese economy also needs. So the project started about 5 months ago, and the total duration is about 2 years, 24 months, and it's divided in two phases. Phase one, which is the design phase, which we are probably concluding in the end of February of 2021, in which we're going to write the playbook, define what are the skills that are needed for the different branches of the profession, and we're going to develop tools to basically promote all this information. We have made a choice towards digital, which is not a big surprise, but we believe that digital platforms can be a good mean to also get professionals and companies to engage with this, what we believe will be a valuable knowledge. For the following about 16 months after February 2021, there will be an effort rolling out and promoting this platform and this knowledge, the playbook for the business community towards all the country. Now I would like to introduce to our guests today. For this project, we basically counting with the support of 3 partner companies. 2 of them are here today. Well, I'd like to introduce Bruno Parra from Deloitte. Deloitte is the company that is helping the SPA writing the playbook, writing the manual of the profession of data science. And obviously, Deloitte is a leading global firm in this field. And I would like to start with a question to Bruno. Writing a playbook about data science, how did you approach this challenge? Have you done this before? Did Deloitte have done this before in any part of the world? Did you use and adapt knowledge, or this was in a way a unique challenge to you?
Well, Miguel, first off, let me thank you by the invitation. Starting by your question, although prima facie it might look like a well-established domain, data science, just due to its recent popularity, we think that data science still finds itself a bit of in a transitional phase as it moves from the academia into the professional and the enterprise reality. And in order to tackle this challenge and map the data science profession, we had to, among other things, cross-check between what is the consensus within the academia, where the discipline is led, and match it with what's happening on the ground, so within the industry. And we take that from experience that we ourselves as Deloitte have found, but also looking at market analysts, tech companies, what is the status within the industry. And answering your question, we to tackle this problem, we divided into 3 main pillars. The first one was looking inside in terms of Deloitte, what we have of benchmarks and consensus around data science. We have globally a lot of initiatives on this domain, and we also provide white papers and research regarding this. So we leverage that information in terms of how to have a benchmark in terms of how the industry globally is adopting and using data science, and that's a very insightful type of information to have, because you can have an idea of what is the industry using, what are the main hassles that they've been finding, how well is data science being leveraged. What are the main pain points, so that other companies can learn from the pains and the mistakes, but also the successes that others have. And this helped us a lot in terms of narrowing down and getting a good idea in terms of how data science benchmarks within the market. So that was one of the first ways we started to tackle it. The second one was to, as you mentioned, actually defining the playbook. So what is the playbook consistent of? As you were saying right now, data science, although it does specify a given domain or a given role specifically, it also can branch out to other types of roles that also interact within the data science ecosystem. You can think of them something like a data engineer, a machine learning engineer, a data analyst. So we started by gathering the information within the academia and all our references, and trying really to get a consensus on how the discipline can be mapped out. So this included trying to understand the domains that are underlying, so mathematics, computer engineering, and so on. And from that, trying to derive what types of roles does data science have, so that we can a clear what a professional that acts within the data science domain, what is their type of profile, what are their skill sets, and this ends up one establishing this domain and all the specifics around that, but also allows people to have some clear targets on in terms of how they stand and how they can migrate from one role to another in terms of their skill sets. The third part that we use to tackle this is to actually enable individuals to start their data science journey. And the way we did that was trying to figure out what are the specifics for each role in terms of their skill sets, how can they improve it, and having a certification type of process that can be instantiated for each of the roles that not only gives the certification itself, so it's a proof of value that the professional has experience and has as can control that specific domain, but that also helps and gives a journey, a path which they can go through and better themselves as in professionals.
Oh, very interesting. So what you are saying is your approach is to give like a progressive introduction to the profession and allow professionals to actually evolve and acquire certificates towards their evolution on the acquiring new knowledge, right?
Exactly, because as you said, the role can be a bit intimidating just due to the complexity of what a data scientist is. And essentially, we're trying to democratize the little bit of the path. And the way we did that is having a first step where people can come in, get the fundamentals, and from that, based on their specifics and their interests, they're going to specify on all the given roles.
No, thank you very much. I will introduce our second guest to this talk, which is Carlos Gomes. Carlos is the founder of Bridge Learning Knowledge, which is an expert firm that is focused on digital interaction platforms. And my first question to you, Carlos, is we could have done a nice booklet printed with colors regarding the playbook, but we have chosen to use digital platforms. What do you think are the advantages of using digital platforms to distribute content towards just a classical way of using printed material?
Hi, Miguel. Hi, Bruno. Thank you for the invitation. More than just distributing the content, we want this platform to be a guide to help the professional along the learning journey and the certification journey. So our job is working with Deloitte and the SPA is build and design this learning experience to be simple and engaging and act as a guide to the professional along all the certification journeys, like a personal trainer, a companion to the professional into the world of data science, providing access to all the learning resources that they will need to complete the certification. We start by the awareness, inviting all the community to get in this journey and helping them to choose the best path to fit their needs on their job, select a career level, and defining the objectives. We will have on the playbook objectives by career, but each professional can define like his personal training plan, okay? And we would like to act as a personal trainer and help the professional also to stay in touch with the community, updating the knowledge and apply to the next level.
Oh, very interesting, Carlos. Although it's not a final version, but can you share with us some visuals about how the application will be looking like? Because some attributes that you have promoted, one is mobile first, having this as a distributed in mobile devices as the first option, and the second one is being extremely visual. So can you share with us a couple of the not finished, not finalized yet, but some preliminary designs of how it's going to look like, please?
Yes, sure. So we are still in developing the app, and also the manual and the career levels and so on, together with Bruno. But let me share my screen. Okay. So let me share. This is a sample. The journey is a sample. Okay. After the enrollment, the professional will choose the certification track. That will be you will have three main steps after the onboarding and set. The professional will need to develop or prove knowledge, then develop or prove experience, and after that submit to exam. Okay, and then the examination board will do the exam. Okay, so this is kind of the user experience. We will use LinkedIn to the single sign-on to enable link the professional to his profession and his company. Okay, and he will start with this mission after explore all the contents. This will be the mission and the guide with all the steps, all the notifications, all the push notifications to keep on track and evolve and progress on the objectives. Here we can say some objectives. The playbook will define these objectives. We will have the option to allow the community to explore other professionals in the area. Okay, if you agree that we can have this functionality that will be very interesting on the social feature of this platform. Okay, then the certification catalog, we will map the digital playbook and the certification catalog. That will be dynamic, of course. Once, since the SPA will not be a training provider, the catalog will map different sources of learning. Okay, here we have some examples of the MOOC platforms: edX, Coursera, Udemy, now the Portuguese national MOOC platform. LinkedIn Learning, the vendor platforms, we can map on the learning for the technical training vendor academies or in company academies, or even build contents specifically by to the certification track. Okay, and of course we have the learning channels. Yes.
Carlos, just to clarify, you mentioned something that is important. In the platform and the playbook will be prescriptive of what the professional needs to learn and can guide them, can suggest him where he can learn that knowledge, but it's not a learning platform. It's a platform that can help you find where to learn that knowledge, right?
Yes, of course. This will map the learning resources. Okay, the professional will choose the resource, the learning resource. He goes to the platform and does the training, the labs, the webinars, or whatever, and then they will need to prove or submit a proof of execution of the learning experience on this platform. Okay. So by the list, of course, we can have video channels like TEDx and YouTube. For the synchronous activities, it will be possible also to integrate activities from tools like Microsoft Teams for the collaborative learning, access to forum channels, schedule a tutor session, have a breakout rooms, and I hope in the future, with the help of the community, we can have like a virtual coach using this kind of technologies. But this is, of course, for the future. To finish, we will the SPA will have access to a back office to manage all this information, like the career settings, defining the evaluation process, manage all the contents. The SPA will curate content, and Deloitte will submit the handbook with a set of use cases and learning tracks, and then these learning tracks can be mapped here on the platform. And then we have the game elements in all the gamification elements that we will use to engage the user and the professional to keep on track and to share the experience with the community.
No, Carlos, thank you very much. Although this is a preliminary, but there's like 3 main objectives: to access the knowledge, the playbook in a structured way. The second is to be like a hub towards knowledge resources, a guide to where to learn the skills that are prescribed. And the third is to be like a social community within data scientists, people that are interested in the profession, so we can attract more people. So basically, this is just a preview. It's a preliminary. In a couple of months, we will have hopefully the final version of it, and we expect in the first quarter, hopefully the end of February, to have the design phase finalized and to start launching the promotion and the rollout phase. So, success for us on this project will be as many professionals and as many companies accelerate the adoption of data science as a technique. This is the way we're going to measure success. And, thank you very much, Bruno. Thank you very much, Carlos. I hope you all to enjoy the rest of the event, and watch out for the announcements we're going to be doing towards the end of the first quarter of 2021, in which we're going to officially launch the playbook as a project. Thank you very much, and have a good week.
Thank you, Miguel. Thank you, Bruno.
Thank you.